Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This Hallow week, however, our players are going to do their damnedest to stop this campaign from starting before it starts. It's time to kill your Necromancer. Hello and welcome. I'm Drew, your DM, that would be Doom Metal Dungeon Master, he who stands athwart the closing of the Sockwain season, and joining me, doing likewise, are...
Hi, I'm Adam, and this evening I'll be playing Lord or Lady, then, a skeleton.
I am Robin, and I'll be playing the Writhing Shrike, which is a ghoul. You could say she's just a girl.
I'm Dez, and I will be playing Gritter Arden, a skeleton.
And I am Nick. I will be playing Eldar Vagal, a ghost.
This is the first time I'm hearing some of these names, I would like the record to show. Cool. As you can tell, dear listener, this is going to be dead serious, this tone. So, okay, dear listener, this is an uncertain world. But some things are certain. And yes, that is a kind of threat. One such thing that you can count on and or anticipate with rising worry is the Dice Punks Halloween special. Yes, every year we take a break from whichever campaign we're currently working through and play a Halloween one-shot, with the tone ranging from cozily spoopy to existentially unmooring. This year, I hope you're ready for some fucking metal. We're playing Kill Your Necromancer by Pauwo Kikman, built on top of Morkborgi by Pelle Nielsen, often mangled into English as something more like Merkborg. Indeed, a preemptive apology to any Swedish speakers who are likely already appalled at my pronunciation. I am doing my best, but I'm well aware that in this particular arena, my best is quite bad. If you're a Swedish speaker in our patron Discord, ping me and I will apologize to you personally and profusely. Speaking of preemptive, we will be dealing with dying, undying, and if all goes well, re-dying. So a content warning is in order for all of the gore, gloom, doom, and dismemberment those things are likely to entail. It should be good fun, but only if your idea of good fun involves, like, shrieking, flesh-strewn ghouls. Morkborgi is a bit crunchier than some of our usual fare, but still pretty rules light in the great scheme of things. The biggest nod to certain other famous systems I could name is that we'll be using a wider variety of dice than usual, at least potentially. Players will mostly be rolling d6s and d20s, but could also roll d4s, d10s, and so on, depending on the circumstances. I myself will also be rolling some d12s and various other bone dice behind the scenes in order to randomize the proceedings, from weather to NPC names and affects. I've built a little bespoke scenario here within the excellent Kill Your Necromancer hook, but in the spirit of anarchic autumnal revelry, I'll be leaning heavily on the randomization that the core Morkborgi rule set offers. I'll mention as well that we acquired Kill Your Necromancer from a bundle organized to raise money for the Dots RPG project, a rad initiative to make a run of Braille dice. The bundle is done and dusted, but you can support the project and 3D print some prototypes like the ones I have right here by going to dotsrpg.org. Okay, any questions before we begin, players?
No.
We do have one thing we need to do before we can begin. So one of the mechanics we're dealing with here are twists of fate. I don't think the listener needs to know most of what's happening, even though the players do. It'll come up in play. But one of the things we randomly selected was that each player gets a random undead pet right from the jump. So therefore, each player is now going to roll a d6, and we're going to see what kind of beastie will be at their sides.
I have rolled a 3.
You get a wolf.
Dang it. I rolled a 2. I don't think that gets me the owlbear.
It gets you a cat.
I also got a 3. Not sure if I should re-roll.
A 6.
That is an
It's the
owlbear.
owlbear. You want to trade?
I will trade you for the cat.
Can we do that?
Sure. However, Nick will have to roll again.
All right, rolling again. I got a 5.
You got a 5, that's a rat.
Excellent.
Tiny bastard. Difficulty rating 16 to hit. Yeah, he's wily. Okay. So let me just make sure I've got that straight. So Robin has an owlbear.
You're welcome, Robin.
You don't have to name them yet.
Albert.
I mean, I didn't say you weren't allowed to name the owlbear, so Albert it is. Adam, you've got a wolf. Des, you've got a cat. And Nick, you have got a rat.
And they're all
right.
undead.
They're all undead, as indeed are our players, as will be made quite clear quite shortly. Okay, with that being taken care of, any questions? Nobody got a bat, which would have been fun because the rulebook stipulates that bats are not dangerous.
I wouldn't have
But-
been mad.
I would have not been mad either. The bat's name would have inevitably been Towheel.
Indeed.
That's true.
All right. Well, if there are no further questions, let's dive in. On the far side of the Valley of the Unfortunate Undead, past the bone-bleached ruin of a nameless palace, a crater opens, wide and round as the cyclopean eye of a world skull. The edge of the crater is the base of Yuptorn, the inverted tower, spiraling its way to an apex fathomless deep. A city-state that has withstood centuries, has outlasted kingdoms, has outlasted eons, so it is told. Homes and halls and workshops carved into the receding coils of the living rock. Market squares and public houses suspended on crosshatches of wood, crystalline and gossamer over the yawning eye chasm, the planks weary, groaning, enduring impossibly. Forge fire and cook fire, lamplight in clusters and starlight refracted in tubs and troughs. From above, the great single eye of the world skull is insectine and sickly alive, faceted like a cut diamond, pulsing and glittering like an exposed heart. Even those who have never set foot in this place, that is most, or who believe it a fable, that too is most, can recite the names of the Tower Kings, who are legend for the peace they keep and for the pitilessness they bring to those who would disturb it. This too is known beyond the city, that when a Tower King dies, his court and retainers are interred living in the mausoleums that encircle the highest depths of the inverted tower, a consecrated barrier between the necropolis and the profane world above, an escutcheon raised against the eschaton. It is said that when the world above ends, the dead will rise, as below, so above, holy and unholy alike, and the Tower Kings will pass their judgment on the fallen, and the waking courtiers will see to the judged, last act upon this vast, decaying plain before oblivion takes it. This time, last of all times, is awaited and feared and longed for. And yet, one need not venture far into the surface world to see that it is, if not ended, then surely ending. Still the dead have not risen. Still the revered Tower Kings reserve their terrible judgment. Still their courts slumber in an eternity they have yet to earn. There are those who grow impatient for the eschaton. Even those who in rising whispers blame the centuries-old Tower King, he who has stopped death, they say, he who has thwarted prophecy. The world above draws to a close, and still the dead do not rise. That is, until. Players. First, you're surprised to find yourself awake. Then you're more than surprised. You're closer to shocked, because if you're awake, that can only mean that you're alive. And you remember dying, or you remember the moment before, well, you remember, I don't know, some of it, you think. You were in a room, not buried, so that's another surprise. You're in a chair, an uncomfortable one, facing the center of the room. The chair, you notice, is made of bones. Skeletal hands clasp your wrists and ankles. The top half of an enormous skull clamps down on your head, teeth against your forehead. 3 other bone chairs are facing the center, and therefore more or less facing you. Their eyes glow green. And there's someone else in each chair. And they're also alive, though not exactly looking like it. What exactly would we be seeing here, players? Let's maybe begin with Adam.
Yeah, so I am a regal skeleton with only the most dignified signs of rot and decay, of average height, not short, average height. Perhaps not clutched in a hand right now, but at the very least on my character sheet, I am availed of a warhammer. I picture it being more ornate than strictly necessary for a bit of metal that you smash things with.
You're still getting used to seeing without eyes, but you might notice it's leaned against the wall opposite you.
Perfect. And as a skeleton, there isn't a whole lot else to observe about me right now. Most of the bones are there. Very little of the flesh remains. There's some stylish mold and fungus here and there, but nothing too showy.
Very good. Robin.
I am a heap of mutant, mutilated flesh. My body is somewhat recognizable as human, but contorted as though previously in the throes of a violent seizure that twisted my flesh at angles and degrees that would even cause invertebrates to shudder. And yet, I might have been beautiful, or at least rich. The tattered remnants of fine silk clothes and once sparkling jewelry, now dulled with crusted blood, are any indication.
The very fact that your clothes remain tell you that you haven't been dead perhaps as long as some of the others. Speaking of, Des.
While Adam may be of technically average height, I am enormous. And somewhere, presumably across the room, or leaned up against the wall by Adam's hammer, is a mammoth sharpened femur and a shield made of bones somehow, and meat that can curl around the femur as necessary.
Even now the meat twitches, trying to get closer to you, presently unable to do so. It should be said the skeleton chair that holds you is likewise larger. It seems less than human. Its incisors are longer, its face itself elongated, but you are in a skeleton chair as well.
It's a rodent of unusual size, would you say?
One might, if one were so inclined, say precisely that. Nick.
Brilliant. Yes, so I am dressed in the finest wine dark robes, trimmed in gold and strange emblems, unrecognized in this era. Behind me, always kind of silhouetted like a Renaissance painting of a halo, is a black shadow that just radiates from the back of my skull. Sunken cheeks and two hateful points of light for eyes, glaring out. This is bullshit.
It may indeed be. It's not necessarily clear what's keeping you in particular sitting where you are, but sitting you are and facing three people who you probably don't recognize. You notice at this point that in the very center of the room there are what were probably 4 human bodies. Not much is left of them. Each looks like it has exploded from the inside. The impact mark is more noticeable than the actual people. You notice there are people scattered around the room as well, more recognizably people, but very much dead. Splattered against the walls, cracked open like fruits.
Bullshit this might be, but 'tis also unseemly, barbaric. Here. I'm going to test my restraints and see if I can stand up.
Out of character, I would really like just like an asterisk with a translation note for each of those, Robin.
Should I assemble them?
I mean, feel free to. They may or may not affect gameplay, but it would at least be entertaining.
Chewbacca with subtitles.
Subtitle reads
dubbed.
"Rawr."
Yeah, in various alphabets.
Chewbacca dubbed. That's cursed.
Chewbacca dubbed is also a very fine genre of music. So you test your restraints. They do resist you. It's not necessarily clear that they would stop you if you marshaled all of your strength, but not only do they resist you physically, you feel a certain heat, and a green smoke radiates off of them when you test your strength against them just a bit.
Well, it would seem I can still feel heat, I say, gazing balefully at my bony arms, though probably the expression visible to others in my eyes is limited by my lack of eyelids, eyebrows, etc.
I try to stand up with the chair, not trying to escape the chair, but trying to take it with me.
It is fastened to the floor, but not hard enough to stop you. You stand up with the chair attached. And indeed, you can all feel, can all see, can all hear. You're perhaps actually somewhat disturbed to learn that all of your senses work. You can smell the people who are strewn all about the place. They probably haven't been dead long. Perhaps whatever brought you ended them. Now, the exception, of course, would be the ghost. All of your senses work, but not the way a living thing or a thing with a body's senses would work. You're condemned to eternal synecdoche. You smell sights, you hear sounds, but you can piece things together okay. So now your largest compatriot is standing with a chair dangling from his back.
And I'm going over to the wall to pick up my sword and shield.
The shield twitches gratefully.
And then, if you will permit it, if it will be sufficiently amusing as to be permitted, I try to destroy the chair by backing into the wall repeatedly.
Well, that to me sure sounds like our first roll. All right, I'm going to need a D20 roll from you, Des. 1D20. You don't know how hard this is in character, so
13.
I'm not going to tell you out of character. 13, and I'm just checking your stats very quickly here. As a skeleton, you have toughness of -1. Okay, the chair shatters. Fully into many pieces. The skeleton hand manacles, which you may have noticed if you'd paid sufficient attention, are also not human. The claws are quite long. Dangle. They're still gripping your wrists, but more like bracelets than like anything actually restraining you.
Jewelry, excellent.
You are tall, as mentioned. If you were to stretch your arms all the way up, you'd be definitely touching the ceiling of this room. It's relatively high ceilinged, but you're also, large.
Indeed.
Reactions from other players. I could have seen that one coming.
I do start thrashing against my constraints, though it's not clear whether it's from frustration or some kind of involuntary motion.
They grip you harder when you do it. Interestingly, there's no grip left in the hands currently gripping your large compatriot. So it seems perhaps that whatever was connecting them to the floor is the source of the enchantment.
You, skeleton! Break me free from this chair, and you shall gain a powerful ally.
I look over at you. I look away from you. Do I recognize Adam?
Give me another roll.
14.
You can't quite place the face, but you're certain you know him, whereas you're fairly certain you don't know these other two.
Okay. I will address Adam and state, I think I recognize you.
As well you should. Please, if you could find it in your schedule to release me. I trail off meaningfully.
It occurs to you only now that when you say you couldn't place the face, he doesn't have one. You thought for a moment he must have.
Does the demeanor clue me in?
There's a vibe that's definitely ringing a bell. In fact, maybe what you feel is not even so much that you're certain who this person is, but that you're certain in life you became accustomed to obeying this voice.
Series of voices.
Maybe this one in particular. Or at least this tone.
If there is any slack in the moment there, I will actually continue and say, you are duty bound to assist me. Do you have any idea who I am?
Do you?
Why, I'm Lady Lord Dread Van something or other.
I at least remember obeying.
Well, I suppose that's good.
Perhaps. I'll release the Wraith first.
Hmm.
Or the ghoul, rather.
Oh, cheeky, I see.
Sorry, yes, no. The one who has not demanded my compliance.
Sure. The only one who has not demanded your compliance. Sure, you approach. How do you?
Wait.
How do you? Yeah.
Has not demanded your compliance that you were able to parse.
Fair.
Sure.
Fair.
No one here chose to speak ghoul when they were.
No. One person here chose to speak ghoul.
To speak ghoul.
Yes.
Exactly one.
Precisely one.
All right. So you're attempting to release the ghoul. How do you do that?
I pick up the chair by the arms and bash it against the wall.
Love that choice.
Give me
As
another
this
roll.
occurs,
Oh yeah, please.
are you repeatedly bashing it?
Hopefully with an 18 that will only take the once.
Oh,
Okay.
Nope, twice.
okay. There's a as you bash it.
This one actually, it noises aside, it takes more than you might expect to smash this chair. It seems maybe they're more accustomed to making them this size than your size.
Well, that sure happened. I will, I suppose, progress then to first the skeleton and then the wraith.
I would like to try to escape on my own at some point, but we can rewind to that whenever appropriate.
Yeah.
We could say you're doing that now. It could be concurrent, in fact. What exactly do you do? Do you simply try to float away?
I just try to float through the object.
The object follows you. There is a phantasm of it that is where you are as you begin to rise, and it snaps you back like something rubber.
Mm-hmm.
That word occurs to you, although what does it mean?
I will then try to channel my eldritch energies and cast a spell.
I like that. That sounds like a presence roll. Give me a d20 roll, please.
Oh, I was intending it to be a d6 with the one of the random spells per round, but
I like that. Even no, that's good too. No, you did specify.
I mean, yours
a spell.
sounds more useful.
And yet,
I figured spells were just kind of your love language. Yeah, sure. Give me the d20 roll then.
Okay, yeah. 12.
12. You don't get all the way free, but the grip loosens. The phantasmal chair sort of sloughs as though melting. You feel like you could wriggle your way out. It might be a little undignified, but you'd make it.
yes, but
I wait until the rest of them are distracted.
At what price dignity, then?
All right, so then the only one fully restrained would be the one that you felt on some level obliged to obey.
I specified that I moved to
You're making your way over there.
unhand them.
Do you do a similar thing? Pick up the entire chair and bash it against the wall?
Absolutely.
As you are picking it up, I'm saying, Well, I don't suppose you could be a little more graceful. Ah!
I rolled a 2.
You have now bashed 8 times, and he's not out of the chair.
I will continue. 19 this time.
He comes loose. He's not happy about it, but he's out.
Now, in character, I would never describe it this way, but certainly by the time I come loose, I am doing a combination of hootin' and hollerin', but attempting to pretend like I am more dignified.
I thought you were going to say that you were rattled to your bones.
Hey.
I would never admit to it.
Certainly not. So, assuming that, Nick, you've managed to wriggle free while this spectacle was taking place.
Presumably, it took a while.
And
You
then
probably
I
had
lurk in the corner.
You probably had ample opportunity to pick when to lurk. At this point, you, Nick, would notice that one of the people in this room with you is not entirely dead. They're close. They're quite splattered. The middle of them is largely gone, but they're still sort of spluttering and talking. They say, "I thought that when I lived and you did not, that we'd failed. My master thought the same. And yet, you live. The day has come."
I give a meaningful look down at my skeleton body and say, "Oh, do we now? How droll."
"You are perfect, my lord."
I know.
He looks as though he has seen a beautiful celebrity.
My posture improves, and this is very obvious because every vertebra creaks and it grinds against the next.
If you were stiff, you were loosened up by being bashed against a wall 10 to 12 times.
The clatter of bones disguised the popping of my joints.
You learn from this that if a bone falls apart, it sort of magnets itself back into place. You lost a few, and they seem to come back together somewhat easily. You're not sure what's holding you together, but it's not just normal joints.
Relief, I suppose. I will amble in as dignified a manner as I can manage without skin and flesh to where the unnecessarily ornate hammer is, and heft it thoughtfully.
I begin to dance.
What kind of
Dancing
dance?
Ghoul.
It appears to be a waltz without rhythm or music that you can hear.
You're pretty sure that the one living human in this room is watching rapt, but he hasn't long left, so it's hard to read his expressions at this point.
You there, peasant? Who has done this to us?
Only one capable of doing it. And you will find her at the dead.
Typical.
Go ahead and rub it in our faces, why don't you? Seeing no signs of undeath in this recently departed person.
No, this person is quite conventionally dead. And ironically, you have no obvious way to do anything about that.
The waltzing takes me nearer and nearer to this person. And as I enter their orbit, I attempt to pick them up and skewer them on the nearest object.
There's not a whole lot left to skewer, but you do, the top half of them sloughs off and can be skewered on whatever you find. You do find a pike sort of sticking out of the wall, so I'll find enough place to skewer.
Okay, that's festive, I suppose. What ball are you celebrating, madam? Yes, very good, very good.
I like this Han and Chewie thing you have going, where you can understand her. Or at
It
least
is
you
not-
act like you.
It is not
Yeah.
clear to
Yeah.
me whether I am pretending or not. I guess we'll
Sure.
find out.
Sure.
I do enjoy it.
I will look at the ghoul and inquire, can you write?
I'd like to point out for the listener that it specifies in the rules that ghouls have forgotten how to hold things.
Oh boy.
And they cannot talk either, so hopefully you don't mind the weird crackles.
Oh, we've
was
already
gonna point out there were
also
I'm-
really, really screwed up.
Mhm.
Skeletons can only repeat words.
I believe that we had established off camera and in the core Morkbar rules, it is that skeletons can only mimic things that they've heard before, but that we were essentially waiving that requirement. But the panoply of voices that I am doing is, reflective of the fact that I am pulling things from
okay.
the recesses of my life.
The
speak.
Kill Your Necromancer module specifically specifies that skeletons can't speak in their own voices, but does not specify that they can't use their own words.
Okay.
Hence, Adam's kind of wandering vocal affect there.
Thank
which
you for
I'm
that
enjoying
clarification.
doing greatly. Hopefully,
Yes.
And
You
it's
are
fun.
welcomed. You are welcome to be as rococo as you do or do not wish to be as to the voice you're using, Des.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. It is worth pointing out that presumably the ghoul could scratch into dirt, flesh, stone, tablet, whatever, if
Presumably.
writing is within capacity, and if
There's
not,
a lot of stone walls around, and there are some tablets as well.
and some
And
bodies.
speaking of, the room has a few windows. The curtains are drawn. There's one very large, heavy door. And other than that, just a whole lot of gore and a whole lot of strange implements. There are more bone chairs stacked against the side. Potions bubble. It's an atmosphere of general murk and glow.
I would like to affix my shield to the femur and set about unconstructing the implements that brought us back.
Bits of worryingly sharp bone extend from the meat and then crawl like insect legs around the sword, then close. You might think you hear a noise of satisfaction. That's almost certainly not true, but you now have a club, twitching gratefully.
While this wanton destruction is happening, I am going to mince daintily around the gore over to one of the windows and use one finger to delicately part the drapery and peer out to see what I can see.
You see that you are partway down an enormous spiraling pit. The living rock spirals all the way down farther than you can see. Strung in between the bits of spiraling living rock are precarious-looking wooden structures. Immediately beyond you, there is the glow of what looks like some kind of church. The weather is... Hold on, I'm going to roll for it.
I thought we were going to get a song for a moment.
Me too, not gonna lie.
You kinda, because that's when the old gray cloud burst. You've got god rays coming down through Baroque clouds up above. It is an incongruously lovely day. You can hear, as you lean to the window, you can hear craftspeople to your left, further down the slope. To your right, you couldn't proceed if you wanted to. It's just mausoleums as far as the eye can see.
Well, I wish I remembered any of this. Dying
You do not.
does do a number on one's memory, I suppose.
That feckless peasant that was disemboweled and speaking just moments ago said, the one who did this is nearby. The only one that's capable, as though this indicates capacity, gesturing disgustedly at himself and his fellows. Amateur hour. There's no excuse for this. I demand satisfaction.
I dip my fingers into the torso that I have skewered on the pike and attempt to write something. Drew, what do I write?
in the torso.
Not
we're
like I'm
using
using the torso as ink
I
on my
see.
hand, and then write it on the stone wall adjacent.
I see. Give me a roll. Give me 2d6.
2d6. Okay.
Yeah.
A 5 and a 1.
You write push.
If I had eyelids, I'd blink at this. And I give a bony shrug and look to our ghost friend and say, "Do you know what the devil they want us to push?"
So, Drew, you mentioned that there's a door and a window?
There's a door and a window. There are also instruments that are not familiar to you, but are clearly tools of necromancy. They're from a time other than your own. Imagine that you are a great carpenter looking at the way people make wooden furniture now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, presumably a lot of this is in the process of being destroyed.
Yep.
by
There's less and less equipment to look at every moment.
Des, could you remind me what your character's name was? It's been a hot
Gritter
second.
Agn.
Gritter.
Is
I love
sufficient.
all of this so much.
All right. I will do my best to remember I guess I may or may not be aware of this. I may or may not have surfaced this memory and character, but it will be convenient for use, and even out of character.
As smashes things, you actually notice that there is, after a fashion, one other door, a trap door in the floor. It is big, thick wood, and now that you focus, you can actually hear something scratching at it.
Well, I suppose the only good thing to do is to see what that's all about. And I go to pull the trapdoor up without really consulting anybody else. I have no idea if I have the strength to do it, being an average height skeleton.
Yeah. Just a normal skeleton, just an innocent skeleton.
I got a 2.
You are not. However you play this off from a dignity perspective, you are unable to pull the trapdoor up.
Why, clearly, this is beyond the skill set of the dignified classes. For the record, I took a dainty sip of my vodka just now to underline my statement.
It was audible, I feel. It was spiritually audible.
Shades of Fielding Cladwell to that, yes.
Yeah.
Fieldwell cladding, yes.
Fieldwell cladding would be, I think, the Bizarro Universe evil twin.
Evil? Good, maybe.
Yeah.
Twin, at any rate.
I twitchily pot a beret and sachet my way over. I didn't mean to look at him that much. And pantomime, again, cannot stress this, twitchily pulling before jerking my head repeatedly over to my writing in blood.
Who's ever heard of a push trapdoor? I do not try again.
Does anyone try that?
Oh, sure.
It springs open. Actually, the 3 stones around it recede as well, and 4 creatures climb out. First is a rat, which goes immediately toward Eldar. Right closely behind it is a cat, which perches atop the shoulder of Then comes a wolf, which wanders over to Adam to console his pride, as it is doing for neither the first time nor the last. Finally, a head pokes out that is clearly that of an owlbear. It looks to the pirouette and begins to dance with you. What is left to be destroyed in this room is destroyed by its dancing. I should note that all of these things are worse for wear. They're clearly undead too. They're in states of decomposition. Bone is exposed. Flesh runs rotten. But they are, after a fashion, lively.
I scratch my wolf between its bony, on its bone between where its ears would be. Ears not having bone in them. And thoughtfully say, "Well, you look like a Yarmy to me."
As you scritch Yarmy, it occurs to you that what flesh it has may not be original, may have been applied.
Well, that's a neat trick.
In the first gentle thing I have done this evening, pat the cat.
You give me a strength roll.
That is a 17.
Okay. The cat accepts the pet with remarkable stoicism, despite it being harder than one should normally be pet, but then realizes that perhaps in this state, your manner of petting is fine. Do the rat and the owlbear have a name? Yeah.
Yeah, so I regard this rat that's approaching me now. I say, "Finally, a worthy ally." Do you have a name, good sir? I look expectantly at the rat.
Squeak. Look deeply affronted.
That was clearly not in character.
A word forms in your mind as the rat looks directly at you. The word is pulp.
Ah, Master Pulp. Together we shall wreck great things.
I believe the only let's see, do we all have names now? We do. The owlbear does not have a name. I'm gonna write that down.
Durara?
I'll provide a dub for this one. Albert.
Whether or not the other players know it, I will henceforth refer to the owlbear as Albert.
It's punctuated with a pirouette, and then the owlbear dips me.
This is surprisingly graceful. If you've ever seen those videos of dog dancing, it's impressive. You know, it's like that. Albeit the person is an owlbear and the dog is a ghoul.
And my back shouldn't have been that way.
Right.
No back should, and yet it does. My apologies if I missed it. Have you named the cat, Des?
Cat.
Sure. Simple as that. All right, well, so you're in this room. There is a room below you where the animals were being kept. There's a door that presumably leads out of here. And there are a whole lot of dead people and a whole lot of broken equipment. If there was anything to salvage, there isn't anymore.
Drift through the hole down below just to see if there's an exit there, and if not, then I'll come back up.
It seems to be a holding room that goes on away, but there doesn't seem to be an obvious way out other than the door you've opened.
Fair. Drift back up, and just around my companions. Would one of you care to try the door? I would do it myself, but I lack the corporeal form to do so.
I apply the femur to the door.
You apply the femur to the door. I'm making you roll a lot, but I kind of like that every moment is fresh with this guy.
16.
16? Okay, the door begins to give. It doesn't splinter all the way, but you can actually see a little bit of daylight through it. A god ray from above pierces the gloom of the room.
Well, I suppose that we don't have to try to open it first, but...
I assume you're already swinging again.
Yeah. I was debating applying my patron to the door, but I suppose that I can continue with the femur.
I am a
Natch.
humble DMDM here. I'm sorry, what was that? Natch. Oh, okay. The door goes flying into the center of the pit and actually takes out a board. The church teeters ever so more, ever the more precariously.
Excellent.
Well done. Wait. Yes. Huh. Shall we find the wretch who has done this to us? I mean, I don't know about you, but I was resting quite well and would like to do so again.
Yes.
In this current form, I lack any significant power. I'd rather be dead.
It seems we are agreed then. And I shoulder my hammer, and I stride confidently out the door.
You cannot precisely stride. You have to crouch and sort of make yourself small to get out the doorway.
Can I just Kool-Aid Man through it?
Give me another roll. You know what? You just rolled a natch. Yes, you Kool-Aid Man through it.
So now I get to be a cool guy walking away from an explosion, but of masonry instead of fire.
Your man is the explosion. All right, so one skeleton strides, one Kool-Aid Man's out the door. A ghost floats, a ghoul pirouettes. You are now out in the inverted tower. Just a review, to your right there are mausoleums aplenty. Directly across from you there is a church that may not be hanging there that much longer since one of its support boards has been destroyed. To your left there are shops. You can hear people working on things. You're not quite sure what. You hear scraping and pounding. Those are sort of your options, though, unless your plan is to dive directly into the enormous pit opening in front of you.
It is tempting, but since
it is a valid option, this is the nature of roleplay.
but since the one who did this to us we were told they were nearby, that doesn't seem to describe the bottom of the pit. So
I leave that to you.
Well, I suggest we head towards the living. Whatever did this to us is among them. Perhaps they know.
Well, perhaps, but consider also that whoever did this to us is likely to be around the dead quite a bit, I say, gesturing to the mausoleums.
A fair point. We shall try it your way.
And I suppose that if I'm wrong, 'twill be simply dull and we can always turn back round.
Do you proceed toward the mausoleums, then?
I jete towards the mausoleums.
That's going to get me every single time.
There's so many more French words yet to be said describing how this ghoul moves.
So yes,
right.
I will begin to stride confidently in the direction of the mausoleums, and then sort of stop and turn toward and say, "Well, aren't you going to protect me then?" And gesture to lead the way.
I install myself the precisely correct 1 step to the left and 1 step back.
I make a sound that probably isn't super identifiable without like organs and stuff, but that from my perspective is a sigh, and then do my best to lead with dignity towards the mausoleums.
I assume everyone follows in one way or another.
Yeah, I will drift out front, being incorporeal, but whenever we come to a barrier physically, that will have to be taken care of by somebody else.
Sure. The necropolis is lively. There are people milling about. There are people who scatter when they see you. You are clearly not a usual sight, this band that they're seeing. A few actually break and run. Most simply try to avoid your gaze and keep walking very quickly. There is, however, a priest who does not notice you. He's currently seeing to one of the interments, one of the graves sprinkling some kind of holy fluid on it. He's wearing the gold-gilded beast bone of the Order of the Right. That phrase pops into your head even if you don't quite know how to place it.
Right R-I-T-E or right R-I-G-H-T?
I'm tempted to say you don't know, but I meant R-I-T-E.
I go into an arabesque, pointing in his direction.
I assume you're making noise as you do this. I have resisted until now the urge to say clever girl. This does get his attention. Yes.
I was going to say, I take the averted eyes and the deferential scurrying as my due. And
You sure do.
And when our ghoul friend here points out the priest, I stride confidently in his direction, and as I near him, what would be the correct? Do I know what the correct form of address for clergy of this order would be? So yeah, as I approach this priest, I'll say something like, "Hello there, Tonfall," just to get his attention.
He looks up at he takes a moment to adjust to the combination of the polite greeting, the ghoul noises, and the sight of the lot of you. His eyes grow very large for a moment. He rubs them as though he cannot possibly be seeing what he's seeing. And then he walks up to you and, not very polite, takes your skull in his hands and says, "The day is here!"
Yes, of course it is. Well, we are looking for someone. Hopefully you can render service during your duties.
Of course, my lord. But if the dead walk, then the promised day has come. You, very large servant, help me open these mausoleums and see if all of the dead walk. The day has come.
I presumptively turn to and give a nod of permission to do as the man asks.
He starts pulling, although he has
I
no possibility of
completely
opening himself.
ignore sir or lady or heir, and just fix the good father with a look. Why do you presume I am a servant?
Oh, well, that's a large question, isn't it? You stood several paces back, and I don't know, you have a servile bearing. Help me open this.
If he is straining against the door of something, I will put my hand through that door, approximately between his ear and his shoulder.
Give me a roll. I feel like all you roll is strength, but that's okay.
16.
Okay. It cracks open, and he makes a proper shriek as he takes a step backward. He almost tumbles into the abyss, you being at the very edge of the mausoleum, and there being some abyss to tumble into.
I will catch him with my other hand, but that shouldn't be a comfort.
I can't imagine that it would be.
He collapses like a starlet in the fist of King Kong.
What a good simile.
Well said.
But then he composes himself and rushes over to see the contents of the grave, which is a dead person, a very ordinary, very dead person.
Oh, come now, it's not his fault. Indeed.
I will look over at the ghoul as a query of, is he actually understanding you?
At the same moment, the father says,
Could you translate?
It's really nothing. Tonfa. It's really nothing.
Certainly. There's much I do not understand. Let us retire to my parish, where
at that moment you hear an extremely loud crash. They're probably
Excellent.
He goes to look and is standing stricken as his church tumbles and takes a fair few other buildings with it down into the abyss.
After a brief interval where we just watch this happen, I will say to him, well, that's not something you see every day, but easy come, easy go, eh? And I just start walking back toward the mausoleums.
He takes a moment to compose himself and then says,
all right. Well, some signs of the end of days do appear to be in effect, but the dead do not rise in total. Who are you?
I strike a dignified pose with the head of my ornate warhammer on the ground and my outstretched bony arm resting the palm of my skeletal hand on the butt of the haft, straightening my back and raising my chin, and I say, you have the sublime pleasure of addressing Lady or Lord Van... what was it? And then I just kind of casually point at our ghoul.
Lord and Lady Van Rahar. It's a pleasure.
I try to make a sour face, realize that I don't have any muscles in my face, and just incline my head instead and say, Lord Van, if you please.
Of course, my Lord Van. But if you well, this is going to be an impudent statement, I'm afraid, but if the dead have not risen, and if the Tower Kings are not rising to judge the living, then you are more along the lines of an abomination.
Trust me, I'm aware.
Couldn't agree more. I am Master Vagal, greatest necromancer of my time, now reduced to this pitiful form before you, shadow of my former self risen by some upstart who took the merest ramblings in the margins of one of my tomes and implemented what I'd meant as a joke as some kind of necromantic ritual. We shall wrest our vengeance from her bloody heart.
If you weren't a ghost, I would smack you upside the head.
Meanwhile, while he is speaking, I am giving a very solemn shake of my head as though to say, what a world, what a world.
Since you are a ghost, my hand passes through your head.
I, meanwhile, am doing backbend kickovers with an emphasis on the backbend. I have not stopped moving throughout this entire conversation.
I like to imagine that your owlbear is backup dancing in the background.
Yes.
I am now getting an image of this owlbear as Left Shark.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I had the little Thriller leg dance going.
That'd be so cute.
I was thinking that Albert was an excellent dancer, but okay, I like the Left Shark interpretation.
That's what Des and I both said.
Okay. Exactly.
What we have here is a failure to communicate. Okay.
Which is maybe not surprising under the circumstances.
Maybe not. The priest picks one thing out from what you just said.
Master Vagal? Eldar Vagal? The first necromancer?
The very same. Slain, smothered in flowers, cast upon me by an adoring crowd.
I've heard this story many times. My God, there are, of course, those who claim that you dueled death itself to usurp the mantle, but ridiculous, of course.
Not as ridiculous as you might think. Nevertheless, you've heard of me, and that's enough.
Your name is spoken, though it must be said not with great regard, in my order. You birthed horror upon the world. You brought the false rising of the dead to defer the true rising, whereby the kings of the inverted tower will judge the world. You brought a great evil on this world, which still stalks this city.
If a spectre could preen.
I think a spectre can.
I nod casually as if all of this is like boilerplate. I have no idea. I've never heard any of this before, but I'm very invested in seeming knowledgeable. And so in an attempt to take control of the conversation that I think is my due, I interject. Well, you see, we are attempting to undo what has been done to us, as it is, as you say, an abomination, etc., etc. So if you could help us find the foul, blasphemous necromancer who did this to us, we would gladly take care of the problem.
Well, it seems we can all have a glad day after all, except for the whole disaster over there and all. It seems to me...
So long as all does not include the necromancer.
Well, fair that. I wouldn't want it to either. Let's see. It seems more than likely, if her foul work has been well underway, that she's sharpening her fell scythe at the bonesmith. Just down the road, actually.
I give a gracious nod and turn as though I know where this is, and then pause and say, we seem to be low on roads here.
It's down the spiral of the living rock.
At this moment, a skeleton emerges from the door you had emerged from. I will let the player know that whenever someone dies in session, a skelly will be spawned shortly thereafter. I don't know whether the skelly will be hostile or friendly, though. That will be determined by the dice. I am going to roll to determine whether this is a friendly skelly or not.
Friendly.
Shaped like a friend.
Yay!
Hooray!
The skeleton waves in a highly cordial manner. Hello, neighbor.
I
it
wave
doesn't
back
look as though
because class solidarity.
I perform that very cheesy dance of pretending to cast out a line as though fishing and start to reel the skelly in.
It plays along. Torso first, it comes toward you, hands splayed in a flash dance sort of style.
Put my hand over my non-existent brow. This is all very undignified.
Well, abominations upon abominations. My good abomination, can you take these other abominations to the bone smith? He says it like an American tourist who thinks that if you speak English very slowly, everyone understands English.
I begin to roll my eyes before I realize I don't have eyes anymore.
Somehow it comes through anyway. The skeleton makes a plucky gesture and begins truly marching down the road of the living rock, the one direction where it's possible to go. Now truly the one direction, since the road that would have led to the church is a splintered husk of what it once was. It doesn't look back to see if you're following, just takes off.
I do follow with a demeanor that says, finally, some good help.
I follow along, dancing to the tune of an invisible xylophone that I assume the skeleton has with them.
You do notice that the skeleton is a composite. Has made itself out of some remaining parts. The top does have some flesh on it and is probably the torso you skewered, but some bits are burnt, some bits are scraped, some bits look as though they've been semi-crushed by some sort of very large club. It's holding things together, however. Whatever holds the other skeletons together holds it together as well. The priest, for his part, waves you off and says, Have a short day.
Thank you. You too.
You
We're certainly not going to have a good one. His church plummeted into the abyss moments ago.
if you look back, you would see him head in hands, still sort of figuring out what's next in his life.
I have no regrets.
No, not a one.
You didn't exactly intend to do that, but if you'd known that's what you were doing, you definitely still would have done it.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. So you follow the skeleton, who has not spoken a word to you, but is a merry gent. Then again, you've not spoken a word to him either. So
When close enough to be within socially acceptable earshot, I will greet the skeleton.
Oh, hello. You're new too.
Yes.
Isn't it wonderful? Just wonderful to be, I was going to say alive, but, whatever this is.
No.
No. Well, why ever not? We can dance and gallivant and, the grave is so boring.
It was peaceful. I didn't have any orders given to me.
Orders are a natural occurrence in this world. Some are made to serve, and some are made to be served, and some are made to be served to those who serve those who are served.
And I would prefer that none of these be the case, at least vis-a-vis myself.
he looks at you, and his expressions are limited, being a skeleton and all, but this is clearly genuinely the first time this has ever occurred to him.
No wonder it was hard to get good help in my day.
I think that would have as much to do with your demeanor, sir.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
You do take pains to not know things, it's true.
Your new skeleton friend looks back and forth, stricken. Your new skeleton looks back and forth, stricken, as though this is beyond the pale, as though the world is about to end any moment. This is a thing that cannot be.
My lord, I'm sure he doesn't know what he's saying. If we don't serve, what do we do? There's nothing else to do.
I pantomime playing the xylophone on our skelly friend's ribs.
The big skelly friend, you mean?
No, the one that is talking about serving.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. He breaks off one of his fingers and strikes a rib with it. It doesn't make an especially xylophonic tone, but it makes a sound.
I look
He starts-
disappointed.
He starts tapping out something like a rhythm, though.
I begin to twirl pirouette after pirouette.
He is now essentially playing the washboard on his ribs.
I hoe down.
I appreciate that you had a space in those words, even verbally.
Yeah.
So you're still making your way, but now in a much jollier fashion. And it's possible you're teaching a skeleton class solidarity, but
I am expressing no jollity and no class solidarity. I am
Well, you would have to have
neither of
class
these things
to
are
have
happening
solidarity.
around me.
just the petitest of bourgeois, sure.
How dare you?
Excuse me, average size bourgeois.
Thank you.
In due time, you arrive at Nick.
Oh, I was just going to say that as long as we're talking political philosophy on our way, I think that you're all fools. There's only power and those with the wherewithal to seize it. There is no deservedness to position. There is just the ability to rise to it and subjugate everyone else.
By the time you get halfway through that, I'm literally doing a little blah, blah, blah hand.
Yes, and then apparently you die. Smothered by flowers, was it?
As opposed to how you died, death comes for us all. It is the greatest power in the universe.
I can't help but feel that I died many times. I'm composed of, let's see, it seems my leg was burned and my torso was skewered, and, well, I feel it all. It's awful.
Yes, I suppose having died more recently gives you more knowledge of your past than, well, I have no idea how long I've been sleeping, so to speak, but it would be nice to have more clarity.
I'm going to say...
Exactly.
Can he really understand her?
I pause for
I will
just
wordlessly
long
shake
enough.
my head.
I pause for just long enough to make it clear that I'm about to lie, and then say, absolutely, every word.
Could you do me a favor and roll a d20?
I'd love to. That is a nat 20.
Nice.
So much for this guy's class awakening.
It's amazing, It's amazing, my lord. Tell me, what does she say?
Well, I glance over at our cool Earl and say, lamenting having incomplete knowledge of a life lived long ago, but a frankly rather poignant reflection on the transitory nature of even memory. She is quite the poet. I pantomime wiping a tear from my eye.
If your skeleton companion had eyes, they would at this moment be anime eyes, sparkling. You continue on. I take it the other two find this somewhat distasteful.
Yes.
If you'd like to do anything about it, say the word. But if not, you can just...
No, but I am rapidly coming to the
about
conclusion that I may have been involved in my lord's dissection.
I don't think he knows that at all, or at least the thought hasn't
not.
occurred to him. Yeah. The thought wouldn't occur to him. He also, as far as he's concerned, died covered in flowers, I believe. So you walk along, your companion with you, now looking adoringly at who he keeps calling my lord. The animals sit on shoulders or lope along with you. People continue to dive out of your way.
I think the
in
cat
some
has
cases,
taken
they
up
have
residence on the very top of the shield.
The shield, is it still in club form? Or do you
No,
have,
it is now in shield form.
Okay. So the cat is perched. It looks comfortably on top of that. Actually, the shield takes a bit of bone and gives the cat a scritch every so often.
Marvelous.
Yay.
In due time, you arrive at what looks sort of like a forge. You see two people. One is a woman in the back who is shaping a piece of bone with a different, darker, larger piece of bone. Neither of the pieces of bone look human. She has long salt and paprika hair, well-muscled, aging but fiercely so. The other person looks like he could be related. Same sort of gray and red hair, but his is braided into a long beard, and he's carrying large pieces of bone back and forth to her, which she then shapes. They don't necessarily see you coming.
I take it as my due to enter first, and lacking a herald, I pronounce, "Where could we find the necromancer who did this to us?" As though this is a normal question to ask of tradespeople.
The woman says nothing. The man puts down an especially large piece of bone, and then says, "What's that? You're looking crispy, friend. Could you repeat? Can I help?"
I'm seeking out a necromancer who did this to myself and my retinue. And I gesture at the others. We woke up very recently and are not especially happy with what's been done to us.
"Well, done to you like you're alive. That's weird. All right, then.
That is the crux of the problem, yes.
Tracy, you ever seen this? Can we do this? Can we smith bones back to life? She shakes her head. Well, we do have a customer who talks quite a bit about this kind of thing. Didn't really think that she was capable of doing it. She was in just today, actually. Got bone scythe nice and sharp.
Lovely. You wouldn't happen to know where we could find her?
Oh, well, she'll be back to pick it up in an hour. You notice at this moment that what the woman behind him is sharpening is about the length of a human torso, the blade of a scythe.
Well, I suppose we should prevent that. I look at my companions.
Job's already paid for. You want to kill her, that's your business, but we sharpen scythe.
Yes. Again, I do my best to make a skull look like it's rolling its eyes.
You notice he doesn't look especially surprised to see a bunch of dead people walking. It's clearly an unusual day at work, but...
Mm-hmm.
But it's also fundamentally Tuesday.
Yeah. I, for my part, expect one of two reactions from commoners. Either meek servility or competence. And these people seem to be projecting competence, so this all reads pretty normally to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, are you, courts? Have the dead risen? Is judgment upon us?
No, some
I look
asshole
over to
woke us
our
up.
immaterial friend for a more detailed explanation of what's happening.
You're right to doubt her competence. We are not heralds of some apocalyptic fate. We are mere accidents of some upstart, fumbling with powers beyond her ken.
You seem pretty undead to me, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah, barely.
They didn't even get his body right. I gesture at the ghost Eldar.
I don't mean any disrespect, but you seem quite old. The woman behind him nods. Maybe there's nobody to,
Yes, well, aside from that, my mind is in tatters. I've forgotten more than most people learn in an entire lifetime.
Me too.
See what we're dealing with?
The vocal cords. She didn't even raise her with vocal cords intact.
I've not seen many of whatever you are, but you seem... you have your marbles together about as much as anybody.
Yeah, isn't that just very sad? I absentmindedly scratched Yarmi's skull.
The woman behind him taps twice with her foot, and he turns sort of attentively and takes the scythe blade, gets ready to fasten it to a large piece of wood with two large pieces of leather, strips of something, again, from something unhuman. Mm-hmm. If you wish to try and stop him...
I wish to relieve him of the stick.
Do you ask or do you simply take?
I am a very large skeleton.
As you reach for the stick, the man steps away and the woman is on you. She is gripping your extremely large arm, and she is shockingly strong. She does, in fact, stop you from proceeding. Not that you were trying especially hard, but you're big, so this is itself remarkable.
I gesture to jewelry that I'm still wearing.
She eyes it, but only for a moment, since there's business. She eyes it admiringly, but again, only for a moment.
Are you proposing a trade? Or perhaps a bribe?
I spin.
'Tis quite fine work on those various accessories. I lean meaningfully towards the craftspeople.
It's a good offer. The problem is that the customer will, what's the term? Kill us.
I look meaningfully toward and then meaningfully back towards the gentleman.
Surely there's no need for unpleasantries here. She'll be back at some point to pick up the scythe and presumably will enter by the door. We can simply ambush her on her way before she picks up the scythe.
And you're confident you can kill a person you've never met who was powerful enough to, badly bring you back.
That's why I think we can do it.
Besides which, there are 8 of us, I gesture to us and our animal companions, and only one of her without her scythe.
We wish only
It's
for
not
you
a
to
bad
delay
point.
the completion of your work.
Only when you say this does the bonesmith release her grasp from your wrist. She nods to the man.
A good point, Skeleton. Perhaps we can use these fine jewels to commission another work that, because of the investment that is great enough, can take priority.
I mean, you can pay. All right. I hope for all of our sake that you can kill her, but sure. What did you have in mind as far as commissions? Keeping in mind we have an hour.
I look very thoughtful. You can almost see the thought bubble above my head, dreaming up adornments for my skeletal form.
I look at you in a way that is deliberately calculated to pop that thought bubble.
I am totally unaware of this.
I do a Stevie Nicks twirl, flaring out the remnants of my skirt.
I do love that the squirrel goes her own way. So is there an answer to what project you'd want the bonesmith to set herself to in the next hour?
I mean, I'm tempted to say sword chucks, but
if nobody else says anything before my imaginings run their course, I probably say a grand bone crown to wear into my casket when I re-die.
or perhaps some kind of a weapon for the gore.
I'm not sure that she's likely to use one.
I bare my teeth and claws.
The bonesmith reaches out her hands as though to take your claws and sort of take the measure of them.
I hold both claws out and the universal symbol for check out my manicure.
Drew,
She
would
gives
this
you-
be... Oh, go ahead, please.
I was going to say she gives you the universal look for you've got potential, but you could use a manicure.
Would this be an appropriate time to roll the dice and let fate decide on something?
I think that's a fine idea. I've been doing it behind the scenes once or twice. That's how we knew what the gorel, wrote, for example. But sure, let's see what the bone dice say. The bone dice gave us a 44, which is melody. Would you like to interpret that, or would you like me to interpret that?
Unfortunately,
This is the nature of Oracle Bones. We have to sort of collaborate here.
None of the out-of-character interpretations that I would have for that make sense for me to, in character, say as a commission. So, unless I can puzzle it out. I'll defer to whatever anybody else's idea is.
I mean, my suggestion would be a flail with a head that is kind of pitted and gnarled by time and corrosion, so that as it swung around, it whistles in an interesting way.
That does seem more...
But that might not be the work of an hour.
I was going to say that might be more possible in an hour than any sort of actual instrument, unless it was a xylophone made of bones.
A xylobone?
A xylobone.
I continue to waggle my fingers and the universal symbol for check out my manicure, but now I look more like the demon from Fantasia.
Wow. Oh boy, that has unearthed some childhood nightmares.
That's what we do around here. That's the deal with the Halloween special. The
I'm
bonesmith,
interested in your... Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. The bonesmith has begun to walk toward the back and is whistling a tune as the first time you've heard her make any noise, really. She comes back with some half-completed work. There is a set of razor-sharp bone nails. They have holes cut in them. She swings one through the air and demonstrates that they make a little tone as they move. There is also, not quite complete, a xylobone. Bits of large bone have been sanded down so that their thickness creates tones when struck. She strikes each one in sequence, and the notes are not in sequence. It's more like a ukulele, sort of a da-da-da-da, but way more tuneless than that. It doesn't sound good, but it does sound.
I strike a pose called attitude and play without any attitude and pirouette my way into an elegant curtsy.
The sound/nails, as they're called, which will help, and the instrument, which will not, for the jewelry.
I begin taking off my jewelry.
You drive a hard bargain, but we accept, I assume.
And to be clear, you are paying me to not deliver the scythe as well? You are confident you can kill her very quickly, then?
Yes.
With the addition of these nails, I suspect that our Lady Ghoul could do it herself rather quickly, though she will not have to, I hasten to add.
This will, at the very least, be interesting. Well, you now have about a half hour before the appointed time. How do you spend it?
I extend my hands palm down, then palm up, then cross my arms across my shoulders, then behind my head, then across my hips, before doing a little dance, and then jumping and facing another direction, starting the pattern again.
I take
The bonesmith watches you attentively as you do all of this.
I take this as an invitation to a needlessly complex ballroom dance that I begin to lead with our ghoul. Charming as ever.
The bonesmith cuts in and dances with the girl. If she'll bows to her to see.
Very gracefully bow out.
I respond with an elegant curtsy.
You dance.
My stat block says that I can turn invisible at will, and so I find the nearest light source and first turn semi-transparent, and then transparent, semi-transparent, and transparent to make a strobing effect.
I'm glad we only have half an hour, because if we had half a day, we would definitely invent necromantic DDR.
Necrodancer?
Dead Revolution.
Now I'm gonna have to play Crypt of the Necromancer later this evening. Thank you.
You're
Nice.
welcome.
What a good game. What a good game.
I know.
What a great
yeah.
game.
So you necro dance a while. Is anyone playing the xylophone?
Yes.
You're playing it with your enormous hands, the tiny xylophone?
Yes, but like individual fingers.
Okay. The sound in the sight is terrible. And I mean that as the highest of compliments. At some point, the priest walks by, dejected, not knowing quite what to do with himself, looks in, and definitely keeps walking.
Excellent.
As we dance and play, I look over at my companions and say, keeping up the strobing effect, it seems as though this is a win-win situation for us. Either we kill our necromancer, or we die trying.
'Tis the hope, isn't it?
I wouldn't count on that. I mean, if she brought you back once, she could bring you back however many times.
I'd like to point out that the people in the vicinity of our first rising were exploded, so you may wish to vacate the premises.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I'll watch from the back. Yeah, he looks over to the bonesmith, who nods, is regretful to leave the Gorel, but decides to get to safety because it's just about time. Actually, at that moment, you hear what sounds like the priest's voice, mumbling a greeting. Says, "The king yet lives," says it as though saying, "Good evening." Then you hear him flung screaming into the pit.
I guess that's
And
my
then-
cue to take up a post just inside the door, pressed against the wall with my hammer hefted.
Indeed, for around the corner, as close to the pit as one could be without falling into it, and so not quite in the doorway, you see a figure in an animal hide robe, fastened with a bone, 2 sets of large hoop earrings, likewise probably bone-gilded. Under the hood is a large wolf skull, and beneath the skull you can see a bright smile. This person is holding a head, which looks to be relatively fresh, though somewhat dried. There's a fastener of a belt with an inverted pentagram at her waist.
How to get ahead in navigating.
Is the head a purse?
She reaches into the head to get payment for the scythe, not yet realizing there's danger. So, yes. Or how much are you hiding? Would she see you immediately upon entering the shop?
I am pressed against the wall just to one side of the door, so I can't speak for anyone else. Unfortunately, my wolf, Yarmi, is probably just kind of like hanging out wherever in the shop. I have not really given instructions.
I perform a tango with Albert.
Is the scythe still just like right on the wall? If so, I might suggest that we try to ambush her before she enters.
I mean, the
If
scythe
it's
is
been
incomplete.
put away, then. It is. Okay. Good.
Mhm.
The scythe is incomplete. Yeah, it's laid out as though to be fastened, but has not yet been fastened.
Excellent. Okay.
It's laying on the work table. Yeah.
I just turn transparent.
Mhm.
Invisible.
Okay.
I suppose I'll hide behind the counter.
Behind a potted plant. The counter is definitely not high enough to hide all of you.
I
guess
would
it
be
could-
crouching, presumably.
Yeah, upon entering, it might look like someone had curled up the 8-foot Home Depot skeleton and shoved it behind the counter.
Not Skelly.
So indeed, the necromancer enters and sees that and looks askance.
And I take this opportunity to swing my hammer at her head.
So this means we're in combat.
It sure does.
I think the way this works is I roll to decide whether you or the enemies go first, although you do have the element of surprise, so we're going to say that she has a very difficult roll ahead of her,
Marvelous.
which she does not pass. So your hammer shatters the wolf skull under the hood. There are shards of bone everywhere. There is a horrible sound like a death rattle that seems to go on and on as she braces herself against the wall.
Okay.
How does the rest of the initiative go?
From here, to decide who goes next, we should roll d6 plus your agility. So do that and give me those numbers if you could.
I rolled a 6, so 8.
I rolled a 1, so 4.
So presumably 7? ?
Drew, the character sheet just has a negative next to agility, strength, and toughness. What am I to make of that?
That is
it doesn't say negative
because-
anything in particular.
Yeah, that's a good point. So every round you do something randomly based on a d6 when you're looking to actually be in combat.
Mhm.
So therefore, let's say your order in each round will also be random.
Okay.
Therefore, Adam's already gone this round, but we have noted that for future rounds, assuming this goes on for a bit. And this round, you will go last.
Oh.
Okay, so Des, you'd be up next.
Uh,
You have the element of surprise?
yeah, no, I definitely unfurl myself from behind the counter, sort of like,
Ta-da!
one of those, like, noodly inflatable car things.
I mean, if you're doing that, your hands are scraping against the ceiling, maybe taking a bit of wood with them.
I mean, I'm fine with that. It's not my shop.
Terrible house guest. Sure.
But having done that, then I will sweep with the sword at approximately face height.
All right then. Give me a strength roll. That would be melee.
That is 17.
17. You you get a glancing blow. You do hit her. It is not an especially direct hit because now she knows to dodge and she is pretty quick. Let's see just how glancing the blow is. Not too glancing. You take a slice out of what is presumably her cheek under there. The smile becomes a grimace. The teeth still glow.
Excellent.
She makes an awful sound. It is
With
now...
Awful
Yeah.
grimace and a terrible sound.
She actually... Cool. So she is going to go after all of you. Robin, you are up next. Gorl. Gorl.
Get a girl.
The TikTok trend of windmilling arms comes to mind, not necessarily in Gwirl's mind, but mine. So I windmill my arms and slash at her with my sound/nails.
Okay. Give me a roll if you could. D20.
That's
Oh,
9.
actually, sorry about that. Let me actually,
Oh,
because I'm trying to figure out what weapon Fabulous Nails would be in the rule book.
A knife?
I don't think there's like a claw.
2d4
option.
is claw.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you have 2d4 handy?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's do that.
4 and a 1.
4 and a 1. Okay. She does not entirely get away from you. Are you going for face, limbs?
Let's say face. I the glow teeth appeal to me.
Okay.
Speaking of Meat World,
The glow teeth. Look, we have a bit of a ban on too much tooth stuff, or for that matter, eye stuff here. But I will say, you slice at her mouth, you feel yourself get a bit of cheek. And I mean that literally. I don't mean that she's sassy.
I mean both.
You feel yourself slice through a cheek. So that hurts. I'm keeping track of HP over here, but you wouldn't necessarily be in a position to know that, but you have hurt her. That is for sure. She tries to bite you as you pull away and gets sort of a glance on some of your awful flesh. You do not lose 1 HP. You're just sort of grazed. But yeah, it was a close thing. Okay, Nick, Ghost.
Yes. So I would like to reach back into my memory and cast a spell that unravels her at a spiritual level, and yet my memory is not what it was, and something random comes out.
Okay.
Which is, so I do have 6 things that could happen as a part of my mechanics, but I would be open to the DM's interpretation any of the day of the week with his own interpretation of randomness.
No, I like what you're trying to do. So let's say you're going to roll a d6, and if what you land on is relatively close to what you're trying to do, you do it, and otherwise something unintended happens.
It's a 2, which is coughing spectral ash and losing 1 HP.
Okay. So, I mean, you do in fact lose 1 HP. Let's start there. Which brings you down to 5 for the listener who doesn't necessarily know how tough a ghost is.
Not very.
But when you indeed, when you cough spectral ash, it goes sort of into her face, and you can see that she is having sort of a moment of realization. She is not quite tripping balls, to coin a phrase, but she's definitely a bit off balance.
She's having a spiritual experience.
She's having some sort of spiritual experience. Now, let's see exactly what kind of spiritual experience with this cool Braille D4 that is exactly relevant
Nice.
to this project in a bunch of ways.
Our listeners could
Good.
not see the die that Drew held up to the camera, but it was rad as hell.
It is beautiful.
There will be a link, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she gets to do some fairly nasty stuff, since she is the one that brought you back to life. She waves a hand in front of her as she is diving for the scythe, not realizing that it's incomplete, of course. And you feel something change within you. There's something in your attention that simply doesn't work the way it did before. What this means, mechanically, is that for the rest of this fight, you cannot defend, parry, or dodge.
Is that targeting all of us?
Yes.
Oof.
Blah.
An offense will be the best defense from here on out.
Clearly, yeah.
Also notable that no one has said a word yet, and in fact, she says,
Hold a moment, your majesties.
I assume that I'm at the top of the round, so I'm going next.
You are, yeah. So it's up to you whether you. I only have so many lines like that at me. It's up to you how or if you react to that.
Hefting my hammer again, I say, "No, don't think I will," and take a swing at her head.
All right. I think I made you roll straight strength rather than a hammer roll last time. Which
You
was
didn't
my
make me roll at
mistake.
all last time.
That's. I got real excited. A warhammer is 1d6, so let's
Indeed.
do that.
So I just skipped straight to 1d6.
Yeah, do that.
That time I rolled a 1 instead. Last time I rolled a 6. This time I rolled a 1.
Okay. So nothing in particular happens. She manages to get out of the way and gets a little bit closer to the scythe. Oh, I forgot to roll to see what order the ghost will go in.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait. I
I
have
fuck
2
that up?
omens here. No.
You do. That's true.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
And
recall
that
to
lets
us
me
and
do some
for the
things.
listener what omens do.
Yes. So omens are probably we have a supply of omens that is better suited to more than a one shot, but in the interest of chaos, we have given our players the allotted amount. Omens can do a few things. They can mean that you deal maximum damage with your attack. They can mean that you re-roll a dice roll and you can use that for yourself or someone else. You can lower the damage dealt to you by a d6. You can neutralize a crit or a fumble, or you can lower one test's difficulty rating by 4.
Indeed.
Which would you like to do?
This strikes me as a good time to I mean, I guess I probably had to use an omen to deal maximum damage with an attack before I rolled. So re-roll a dice roll, yours or someone else's. I'd like to re-roll my dice roll with this D6.
I actually don't know the rules as to whether if you wanted to, you could spend both omens and also maximize this.
I think I only want to spend one right now anyway, because I only have 2. So I'm going to re-roll this die, and if I get another one, then it was meant to be. If I get something else, then good on me. That one was a 6.
That was a good use of an omen.
It seems like maybe it was. So I've got one left for the record.
Not only does the Warhammer connect, but you send the Necromancer flying across the room. Some damage is done to her torso, but some damage is furthermore done when she collides with the adjoining wall. Also, she's now farther from the scythe.
To coin a phrase,
she makes a sound sort of like, yeah!
To coin a phrase, dope.
It's going well. We continue the tradition of the party rolling stupid well in one-shots when there's only one combat section.
Well, we do with the assistance of some omens. I would like to point out that in the Kill Your Necromancer rules, it says that you start with a D2 roll plus 1 omens because being undead is inherently ominous.
Indeed. I'm going to rule, by the way, that your skeleton friend didn't go last round because he was awestruck by the proceedings. But he's just sort of standing there. He is not especially well armed, but he's just kind of been hanging throughout this process, taking it all in. He is friendly, not hostile, so he's going to side with you and not with the Necromancer. But as to what he's going to do, we will find out after the ghost, who goes now.
Okay, I think I only have one attack, and that's to cast a random spell. So,
Correct.
I will try to cast a spell that makes her entrails come out of her mouth and then strangle her to death.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I approve.
That's a 6, which, okay, yeah. So, that means that
you heal an undead being or damage a living being for D4 HP. So roll a D4 for me.
Yes, I sure will as soon as I get a D4, which I should have been prepared with.
It is less common in this system than a D6, so it is perfectly understandable that you were not prepared for it.
Less common in general, and deeply silly looking things, D4s.
Mm-hmm.
Until you step on them, and then they are hateful looking things.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
The dice have ruled that I do 1 damage.
Okay. Do you want to spend an omen, or do you
healing.
let the dice govern?
I will spend an omen. I started with 3, which is generous. The dice have said 1.
Okay, well, there is no, I think, way to block that as the upside of it. So you do, in fact, do 1 damage. So you're trying to make her entrails climb out of her and strangle her.
I
Yes.
think like her cheek sort of escapes, maybe.
She coughs something up of a really distressing color. It emerges from the hood. You still can't entirely see her face, but that glowing set of teeth spits out something bilious, and in fact something that squirms a bit when it hits the floor.
Allow me to be the first to
Adorable.
say, gross.
I have been told that if you do this system and you don't need a shower afterwards, you're fucking up. So I'm doing what I can. Okay. So I believe next up is Robin. No, I'm wrong. Des is up next. My
I
apologies.
thought that our guest skeleton was up next.
You are correct. Thank you for correcting my correction, which has made me more correct than ever. So the skeleton... Actually, let's do a proper bone oracle on this one, because there's really any number of things he could do, huh?
Yeah. It's a good time for a bone oracle. He is, after all, nothing but
Bone.
bones.
Yes.
He is nothing but bones. He, the word that we rolled in the bone oracle was head. He takes off his head
boy.
and he throws it at the necromancer, who
Hell
steps out of the way.
yeah.
The head cracks against the wall and falls to the ground.
Well, he tried.
No.
I'm sorry, my lord.
It says.
I make a gracious gesture with the hand that is not holding the warhammer.
Distressed as she is, she thinks it's apologizing to her. So There is now a skeleton body wandering around aimlessly and a head sort of flopping around. It's sort of slowly magnetizing back toward the body, but it won't be back together for another turn unless someone snaps it back together. Okay, now Des.
I would like to take the scythe blade
Ooh.
and hammer it home.
As in, hit the Necromancer with
Yes.
it. Okay. That's an interesting thing. Hold on a moment. Okay, the scythe is a d6. So here's what you're going to need to do for me. You're going to have to give me a d20 roll and a d6 roll.
All right.
And this is going to have a high difficulty.
Sure.
So you're a big party. Let's take a moment and address that. Your animals, let's say, have been lying in wait this whole time, and that might come up shortly. But first, Des, you wanted to use the scythe to drive the point home.
Yes.
I've been a little bit fast and loose with which powers reside in the scythe and which in the Necromancer herself, but the scythe itself is relatively cursed, so the first thing I need from you is a d4 roll.
All right. A d8 roll, mod 4. That is a 5 becomes a 1.
5 becomes a 1. Okay, so you can do this. However, you notice that your arm turns numb. Suddenly it feels like actual bones. You're going to get this swing out, but you will not be able to make a move for a turn after this.
Okay.
Actually, for D2 rounds. So do you have a coin handy?
Or
you
odds
could
or
mod,
evens.
yeah. Yep.
1.
Okay, so it'll just be the one round.
Okay.
So this swing is expensive in that sense. Now, do this for me. Give me a D6 roll.
Okay, is this where I could spend an omen to guarantee success?
It is. You could do that, yes.
Then I will do that.
Okay, sounds good. If you wanted to, you could even, let's spend 2 omens to guarantee success and max out damage.
I will spend
But
2
that's
of
up
my
to you.
3 omens to do that thing, leaving me with 1.
Okay, very good. You, with your giant arm, grab the blade of the scythe. You immediately feel the numbness, but you are able to complete the arc. You take that scythe, and you... What part of the body are you aiming for? Yes?
Since the scythe is in 2 pieces, I have picked up the blade, and I am punching it through her.
Okay. Sure thing. So... It connects, and she is bifurcated. Alive, but bifurcated. She looks strangely like the person who you pinned to the pike earlier, of whom your skeleton friend is made. The skeleton friend's face stands agape.
I believe it was the Ghoul that did the impalement.
Yes, I meant you as the group, excuse
okay.
me, when I said
we
you.
collectively, indeed.
Yes, you collectively. You are, after all, a party, whether you like it or not.
Indeed.
I mean, we had a
We're
party.
The death of the party.
So that happened.
I love you all. So a necromancer being a necromancer, this isn't necessarily the end,
Right.
but this has officially triggered a morale roll because we are down to a low enough level of health. So what I'm supposed to do here is roll a d6 to decide whether the enemy flees or surrenders. Fleeing would be an interesting thing, given the whole separation of the top and bottom halves.
I mean, fleeing would
So-
commence the yakety-saxing.
Sure. We will cross that bridge or when we come to it. So the necromancer is cut in half, but it is not a given that this is the end. And indeed, it's not a given that she's demoralized. She might be feeling just fine about this day at work. So I'm going to need a roll to decide whether she is in fact demoralized. So someone needs to roll 2d6. I want to say it's Des since that was the potentially killing blow.
2 and a 3.
2 and 3. So that is not over the morale limit. So she is not demoralized. She is alive and fighting. So someone gets to go next. I believe that's going to be Robin. The necromancer, by the way, is still sort of saying,
Your Majesties, please. I can explain the whole...
I vogue in her direction, do a...
I'm picturing a duck walk, but I don't know if that's what you mean.
I do a death drop and then try to once again claw at her face.
Okay. But we established what a roll was for claws.
2d4s.
Let's do that.
I got a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2. You do scratch her, but she's already pretty scratched. She's already pretty goofed up. What you scratch at is already scratched. It doesn't feel like a face when you scratch it. It feels like ribbons of flesh. It almost feels like home in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that although this doesn't kill her, it could demoralize her. So give me a D20, or excuse me, a 2d6 roll.
2d6, okay. Let me grab those.
You're looking for an 11 here, or over an 11.
Oh, I got a 3 total, so yeah.
This is just, I mean, you could use an omen, but you're also, I mean, you do have her on the back foot, to say the least here, so.
I may use an omen.
Okay,
I
just
haven't
to
used one
roll
yet.
again?
Sure.
Okay.
And that was a 6, so still unsuccessful.
She is hanging in there.
Possible emphasis hanging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's fully in 2 pieces, but she seems to be alive and swinging. In fact, the top half begins to levitate, and it reaches for the scythe blade. In fact, it's her turn. So the top half manages to pick up the scythe blade, and I think Robin would be the nearest, so swings at Robin. Robin, or rather, Gorl. Give me a... Oh, you can't defend, actually. That is something that we have established.
Mm-hmm.
So that scythe is going to connect.
But I do have hardened flesh.
You do have hardened flesh. So, with your hardened flesh, you take 2 damage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what were you going to say?
It's minus 2d2, but 2 damage sounds fine.
Hardened flesh, yeah, minus 2. Exactly, yeah. So taking that into account, you have taken 2 damage, which puts you at 3 for reference. Also for reference, the Necromancer started at 20 and is now at 5. So okay, so you take a licking. The scythe connects with your arm meat/bone. It makes a deep cut. It won't prevent you from voguing, but it will make voguing a little less comfortable.
Does this trigger the scythe abilities as well? The D4?
It does, yeah. I'm gonna have to roll a separate D4 for that right now. Thank you for giving me the segue. Luckily, you rolled a 4, so nothing additional happens. Hold on, I'm gonna check my Nemeth here. Yes, that was a 4. Yeah. Let the record show. That's what a 4 looks like. Okay, so...
Speak to me. I can kill you as many times as necessary,
she says. Whether you listen is up to you.
If we don't find out what she has to say, then I'm sure that it's going to be a Dice Peaks incentive, because I'm very curious.
Well,
this is true.
I was going to say I guess I don't know if I have the first opportunity to respond or not until we know where Nick's random place in the order is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good point. Nick, you go after Adam and Des, but before Robin.
Okay. So I guess oh boy, what do I say here? I heft my hammer and just say, "You have profaned our corpses. I don't know that we need to listen to you," as I basically baseball swing my hammer.
All right, give me a hammer roll.
That sure was a voice, Adam.
I'm
was a
trying to do a variety here.
It's
I don't
true, and
know
you're
how well it's
succeeding.
coming off. That is a D6.
As a 1d6, yeah, 1d6.
A 6. Wow, that's
Okay, then.
almost never happened to me before in my life. 2 6s in a row.
That's remarkable. You don't quite kill her outright, but she's not doing well. She is essentially pulverized. The torso is now gloop. Splats against the wall, sort of hovers weakly, but is essentially like a drone where one of its motors is not working especially well. Sort of flops around and then lands on the ground with a sickening squish. The real question is, does this demoralize her? 2d6, please.
2d6. That is 2 3s for a 6.
Okay. Nope, she's feeling great.
Genuinely impressive morale on this necromancer.
She's got spirit. Yes, she does. She's got spirit. And some scuzz. Bez, you're up.
I will take my shield, and I will use it to put her through the wall.
Okay. I am figuring out what you should roll with a shield as a weapon, because that is, I don't think, standard. The Dark Souls 2 great shield build is not...
I do appreciate the extreme leeway that you have given me with my weaponry this evening.
We are innovating in the Merkborg space.
We are.
I mean, you could just have me roll the sword roll.
No, that would be much too easy.
How will you grow if you don't challenge yourself?
Exactly. Let's see. I asked the Bone Oracle and it said blood, so I'm going to cobble a couple things together here. Give me...
And now we're playing Space Funeral.
It's weird. They just all say blood. Give me 1d4.
All right. That is an 8 becomes a 4.
Okay, that went well. You put her through the wall. That puts her at 1 HP. Not dead. She is at this point ahead. She has nothing with which to grip the scythe with, though the scythe sort of hovers weakly next to her. The head is upside down in an undignified manner. Blood spurts from where there used to be a neck. The robes have collapsed to the floor. They pulse a bit as the thing that she coughed up had pulsed. She's doing badly, but how does she feel about it? 2d6, please.
If I could make expressions with my face, I would look disdainful.
Boxcars. So 12.
Ooh.
All right, then. So that actually does pass the check. Which means, let me remind myself what that means. I will now roll a d6 to see if she flees or surrenders. She flees.
How?
Floating, I guess.
No. Her neck sprouts sort of leg bits and just sort of waddles.
The jugular veins become...
I'm hearing a Looney Tunes sound.
It will not shock you to know I'm going to ask the Bone Oracle how she tries to flee.
Vomiting.
Love it.
The word is projectile vomit would be extremely good. But no, the word I got was big.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Her
Pillsbury
head,
Doughboy.
her head grows much larger and begins to roll toward the door.
Quick, somebody catch it.
It's
The person who is up would be the ghost, Nick.
All right. Everyone's entitled to their last words. Go ahead. Say what you're intending to say. This spell takes a little while to prepare anyway. And I do start to cast a spell that is meant to target the nerves in her head and have them wriggle to the surface like earthworms in a rain and just cause some unpleasantness. But what actually happens?
gross.
Yep.
Well, give me 1d6 and we'll decide what actually happens.
Oh boy. 4?
4. Become a spectral weapon for d4 rounds, dealing d10 damage. Okay,
Oof.
I'm gonna say that covers it. I mean, sure. If we're doing it, let's do it. Roll a d4 and a d10 for me.
Okay. My D4 is a 4.
Mm-hmm.
My D10 I think I threw across the room for my cat.
As is right and correct.
Yeah. Here's an alternate D10. There we go. 2.
That's a 2. Okay. I mean, you're good, basically.
My last word, then. You fools are the monarchs of old. You, the first necromancer, son of he who founded the inverted tower, whose life turned to the arts of undeath. You,
Turning to the smaller skeleton.
minor noble, 343rd in line for the throne. But in the Unsealing War, where 100 noble houses died in a day, you were technically king. But you starved to death never knowing it. You, foreign queen of the Western Kingdoms, the merchant queen you were called for your taste for foreign luxuries, your love of dance, well known, following you even into death. Yuptorn grew rich under your reign, and it could have been rich again. And you, my large friend, you too were king for an hour, though of course you knew it. Betraying your lord, leaving him to die, and trying to take the crown for yourself before being murdered by a murder of crows.
I knew it.
Class solidarity forever.
You could have reigned.
I tell the necromancer to get on with it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Whatever is inside the hood, it explodes forth from within the hood. There's more eyes than there should be. There's more blood than it seemed possible for there to be. There's bits of brain, but it looks as though not all human. Things fly everywhere. The head, which has grown to impossible proportions, splatters everywhere. Bone shrapnel destroys bits of wall.
What happened to the legs?
They are currently running for the door. But as the head explodes, they topple.
Can I impale them on something?
Absolutely.
There's a convenient scythe nearby.
Ah.
I impale them on the scythe without directly touching it.
Very good. At this point, the bonesmith comes back out. Seems as does her assistant. So it seems it's over. And yet, you don't seem to be dead. Is the thing. That seems strange. At this point, your skeleton friend. Yes.
I'm rather hoping it will take any moment now.
Skeleton friend at this point says,
I meant to tell you. The relic that needs to be destroyed was in the church.
At this moment, since your unfortunate incident, or your fortunate incident, depending upon your point of view, sent the church toppling.
Since the hilarious incident.
An as yet unspecified number of people almost certainly died in the process. A spider made of human skeletons emerges from the pit.
Good.
On its back is a church.
Like you do.
This begins to be some near shit.
You flatter me, sir. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Since we already had a rather protracted and rather bloody fight, and since the animals were not involved in it, and since that was to a large degree, my goof as a GM, I'm going to have each of you roll for your animal companions, and we're going to see if we can resolve this thing in a quick and climactic fashion. Could you please each give me 2d6?
3.
2 sixes.
Nice.
Oh shit!
10 total.
Hold on, I can't even get.
I was about
Your
to
camera got so fucked up.
I was about to use my omen to re-roll mine, but it seems like that may or may not be necessary.
Since the owl bear got the
From the
maximum roll.
top row.
right.
Mm.
Owlbear versus spider. Fight.
Master Pulp got a total of 6.
Very good.
Fatality.
Cat got a 10, but may just be comfortable on the shield, despite having gone through a wall with it.
That's a good point, actually. That's the cat was perched on the shield.
I mean,
We
the
didn't really
cat
deal
may or
with
may
that.
not have stayed on the shield as the shield went through the wall. I leave that
No, I
to
kind
the
of
cat.
like where you're at. The cat crawls from out of the hole in the wall. The cat had taken the ride with the shield, and it runs. I'm sorry, Adam. What was your roll for Yarmy?
My roll for Yarmy was a 3.
Okay, Yarmy howls and summons other wolves, which is something that Yarmy could do the whole time, but really is going to only do when it's funny. Cat and Master Pulp bite at the skeletal face arms of the spider that tries to crawl its way out of the pit. They keep it in its place. And at the very top, or at the highest height, the lowest depths of the inverted tower, the actual edge of the great cyclopean eye of the world skull, a pack of wolves gather, summoned by Yarmy, and they gather around an owlbear, specifically Owlbert, who stretches and prepares and looks to each of their wolf companions and then leaps from an unfathomable height and descends at an impossible speed and lands squarely upon a church and crushes it into innumerable pieces. Bones and relics fly, gilded beast bone flies in every possible direction, destroying what may have been left of the scaffolding in the middle and turning the great pit into a true pit once again. Those who live in the living rock can live as they did, but the necropolis is a true necropolis once again as the owlbear off the turnbuckle crushes the entire church, and I don't mean that figuratively, although also I mean it figuratively, to dust. Something shatters in you, too. It seems suddenly that this unholy life that has been bestowed upon you unwillingly has begun to fade. You know suddenly with absolute certainty that you will soon be at rest again. What do you do with the time that you have left?
I assume the most dignified pose on the ground that I am able to conceive of in the time that I have.
I perform a series of pirouettes after pirouette, my head expertly tracing a single spot to prevent myself from becoming dizzy, then land in second position and elegantly go into the most beautiful curtsy of my life with a
I give Cat a final pat on the head and jump into the pit.
As my form dissipates, I say, well, now that we're all going to final death anyway, I might as well come clean. I actually died on the toilet in a heart attack. And those are my last words.
Bravissimo.
perfection.
And that concludes this session of Dice Dice.
I think you struck.
Thanks for
Drew's
joining us. I hope our
speechless.
players and listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, and that you'll all join us next time. If you're hearing us now, then you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found most any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell and happy Halloween. Say goodbye to the kind folks at home, players.
Happy Halloween. And look, you're probably not going to get to plan your last words. So try to plan all of the things you say as though they might be your last words. You want them to be more dignified, if you can.
Happy Salmon. When in doubt, just dance.
Thanks for listening, folks. And if you're going to do something, make sure it takes.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and for joining us for this ridiculousness. Just appreciate your time and spending it with us. Yeah, if you're going to do something, do it well. Be the best whatever you are.
As the poet wrote, and in the ever-present light, and in my ever-growing needs, if a man should crest the ridge, he's going to have to watch me feed. But no one's ever going to come, and nobody's going to know. I will sail home again, concealed among the upright walking men, to know that sleeping bodies hide sweet things inside. Thank you for tuning in, dear listeners, and stick around through the admin stuff for a final word. The theme for this episode, Midnight March for Haunted Things, is by Robin Graves and Drew Blood. Theme of the Dice Punks is by Drew Blood, though under another lesser name. Cover art and editing was done by Joanne, who has appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet where she goes by Anything Sows. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by our own Robin Graves. Kill Your Necromancer is by Pawo Kikman, edited and proofread by Ian Servas, with maps by Vaultcrawler. It's based on Mork Borky by Pella Nelson, with graphic design by Johan Noor and English writing and creative consultation by Patrick Stewart. I made use of the free Barebones edition, which is transcribed by Walton Wood. Links to all and sundry can be found at the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you like what you heard, well, that's reward enough on its own, really, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord and access to the Dice Peaks after show for episode 1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.